All right, we're going to get this next talk started. All right, our next talk is going to be a virtual presenter. Her name is Omotola Eunice Omotayo, and she's going to be giving a talk about career building through open source. Omotola is a community manager and one of the organizers at Outreachy. She's passionate about community, open source, advocacy, DEI, and open payment. Omotola understands how communities work and creates an extraordinary, welcoming, and safe environment for community users. All right, let's welcome her.
I trust you've been enjoying these sections. Today, I'm going to be speaking on career building through open source. And at the end of this section, if you're on beginner level, intermediate, you're going to learn how to build and enhance your career via open source contribution. So let's get started. I'm Omotola Eunice Omotayo. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the community manager at Outreachy. I'm currently in Nigeria, in Africa. I'm an open source women empowerment and DEI advocate. So I'm here to explain and give you insights on open source contribution. Not just that, to make you understand that contributing to open source go beyond you improving the particular open source project, say documentation, say user experience, and so on and so forth. So it goes beyond you improving this project, but you can as well boost your career via this contribution. I mean, contributing to open source significantly boosts your career. And today, I want you to follow me through the steps I'm going to be explaining. I'm going to be showing you the opportunities that are in open source that uh, most persons did not pay attention to. So these are the opportunities. Open source, contributing to open source actually help you to enhance your networking game. I mean, networking is an investment in your career. So networking help you to connect with people, their ideas and opportunities. So via open source contribution, because you're not the only one working on the particular project. So via this contribution, having more persons working with you, collaborating with you to achieve to enhance the project, you are actually networking, getting to know more persons. You're actually getting to know their ideas as well, learning from their ideas. And as well, it's going to create more opportunities for you, because definitely if Omotola and let's say Mr. A is working on a particular project, and at the end of the day, Omotola will be able to, if Omotola has other opportunities elsewhere, that needs a technical documentation, someone to enhance the technical documentation, I'll think of Mr. A or person B that will work on a particular project together and introduce or let them know about this opportunity. This is the power of networking. Collaboration. You are working together. I've explained this before. You are working together to achieve a whole lot. When you combine effort from person A, person B, and person C, it's going to be more than when just one person is actually working on a project. And this in turn boosts your self-confidence. I'm going to be giving several scenarios of how confidence level of persons that have been built via open source contribution, and these have how these have in turn helped them to be able to land their dream job. So you working in a particular project actually help you to build your portfolio, because at the end of the day, you'll be able to put all these projects that you work on your portfolio as a sample, as your job sample. You'll be able to write the skills you've gained on via the open source contribution in there. And it's going to help you to land your dream job, because by the time your potential employer see your portfolio, go through your portfolio, they will be convinced that, oh, Omotola can actually do this job, because they've seen your impact, they've seen what you've done via your job samples. And also, you can become an advocate like Omotola, who get paid opportunity to speak about their experience, to bring more persons into open source, to share their knowledge and expertise in open source with persons. So you can, this is another opportunity that is available for you in open source. So let's go into the story. I'm going to be sharing these stories using Outreachy intern experience. So Outreachy is a paid remote internship opportunity. I'm going to be during my discussion now. I'm going to be telling you more about Outreachy program. But for now, let's share stories of people who have gone through this paid remote internship opportunity. So this is an Outreachy alum who recently was promoted to be a core Python developer. When they applied for the Outreachy program, at first they didn't get into the program, but from the experience, the skills, the collaboration, that they gained during their contribution phase. You're going to know more about contribution phase later. During the contribution phase, they were able to write a book on Python 2 and 3 compatibility. So this is what open source journey, this is what open source contribution has actually done to them. Also, I compress a lot of stories because we have a lot of stories out there. We have a lot of success stories, fun facts out there about how open source can actually enhance your career. So this is another Outreachy alum that states that they did their internship with Mozilla, and apart from the technical knowledge that they gained, they also gained self-confidence. This self-confidence and the technical knowledge and other skills that they gain via this program actually help them to secure a job at Intel. Another Outreachy alum mentioned that they become more confident, and this is via their open source background through Outreachy. So they were able to land an interview. They didn't get the job at the end of the day, but they got another job eventually. All thanks to open source contribution, all thanks to open source program, which is Outreachy. These are another alums. One mentioned there was a question that an Outreachy alum stated out there on Twitter about the one achievement that they've gained in life. And the first thing they mentioned is being selected into the Outreachy internship. And this is open source contribution, right? Another person mentioned that they found out finding out about open source project to contribute to is actually a win for them. They actually now become an open source designer. And this is another story of a stay at home mom of over 15 years who landed a job, a full-time job, after this Outreachy program, after this open source contribution program. Now, I know you're thinking, this is a success story. Impressive. Yes. So now, how can you do that? You want to be part of this success story. How can you do it? I know the question you're thinking now. I know what you're asking yourself is how can you build your career through open source contribution? You have heard a lot of success story. You have heard the opportunities available for you in open source. Now you're thinking of how you can actually be part of this success story. Not just that, but how you can get these opportunities that are available there. Don't worry, let's get started. So I'm going to be speaking from paid open source program because I mentioned earlier that you are not just improving the projects, the open source projects. You can actually be paid by doing so. So today I'm going to be talking about paid open source program. We have there are several paid open source programs. We have Outreachy, we have Google Summer of Code, we have MLH Fellowship, we have Google Season of Dog, and so on and so forth. But today I'm going to be talking about Outreachy. So Outreachy is a 3-month internship program. It is completely remote, and the interns get paid a sum of 7,000 USD for the period of the internship. So Outreachy interns work on open source projects, And the good thing, the most one of the most interesting thing about Outreachy is that you get paired to an experienced mentor. It's a one-on-one mentorship program. So it's you to your mentor. You will be part of the open source community, but you get to work with a mentor. So the mentor is fully dedicated to you to help you learn why contributing to open source. And at the end of the day, you get paid for this. You get a stipend of 7,000 USD. Now interesting, right? So so how do you become an Outreachy intern? Outreachy internship program has three stages. The first stage, we call it the initial application stage. The second stage, we call it the contribution stage. And the third stage is the internship itself. So let's start with the initial application stage. So during the initial application stage, the summary is just you writing an intentional essay. So Outreachy supports diversity in tech. Outreachy program welcomes anyone who feels they are underrepresented in the country they are living in tech. So if you feel you have faced any form of discrimination, you are underrepresented in the tech space, that's in the country you're living in. So this is what you need to prove in the initial application stage. You need to write an essay. There are questions that are going to be asked you during this stage. So you need to write an essay that tells or that proves or that explains that you are actually underrepresented in the country you are living in. If you pass this stage, the next stage, which is the contribution stage, is where you show up, where you learn, and you contribute. You will do your research in this space. On this stage, you will do research to know more about the open source program that you've picked to work on, because you get to pick the project you want to work on yourself. You will do your research, dedicate your time, engage with your mentors, ask questions. Your mentors are there to help you. The community persons in the community are there to help you. So this is the stage where you ask your questions and you contribute and submit your final application. So when you submit your final application, which has questions like what contribution have you made, what skills have you gained, and so on and so forth. If you pass this stage and you move to the internship stage, this is where you contribute and collaborate. This is where you build your skills. You've been building your career from the contribution stage, right? But this is where you make use of your network. This is where you collaborate. So it's time to double your efforts, the efforts you put in the contribution stage. Prove to your mentor that they've actually done the right thing by choosing you. So these are the three stages. So Outreachy program calendar, Outreachy runs twice a year. And this twice a year happen, the internship program happen twice. There is May to August round, and we have the December to March round. So this table contains the schedule for the yearly schedule for the program. The initial application stage is there, the contribution stage is there, and their period, then the internship itself. So before I move to how you can join Outreachy as an intern, if you want to join Outreachy as a mentor, you can check out outreachy.org, the website, or follow on any social media platform. You should know by now that there are three stages: initial application stage, contribution stage, and final stage. Outreachy welcomes anyone who feel underrepresented in the country they are living in to come and be part of the program. All you need to go is to go through these stages: apply, prove that you're underrepresented, contribute, and finally the internship stage. So as a mentor, Outreachy puts out calls for mentors every year. As a mentor, you need to do is to be part of an open source community. Work with the open source community mentors, or bring up a topic, a project that you can submit to Outreachy to be part of Outreachy projects for that particular round. So with the knowledge you have right now, be it you are on intermediate level, on expert level, or on expert level, you can come in, apply through your open source community to join Outreachy as a mentor. Joining Outreachy as a mentor actually help you to build your career, because you can actually add to your portfolio that you are part of this course. This course helping people to come into open source, helping people to helping open source community or projects to enhance the project they have, and in so many other ways. Okay, so these are the different ways that you can build your open source via the Outreachy program. If you have any question, you can follow me on Twitter or on LinkedIn. You can also follow Outreachy on at outreachy.org, and you can as well follow on any social media platforms. So if you have any question, you can reach out, ask any questions, and I'm going to answer. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and I'm going to be taking questions right now. Enjoying these
That was a fabulous
sections.
talk.
Today,
I'm going to
I'm
open it
going
up to
to be
questions here in the
speaking
audience.
on
I have one
career
question to
building
start
through
off.
open source.
It was really great to hear about the Outreachy program, what the interns have to go through to apply, and who the people you're trying to reach are. I was wondering if you could give the audience here, who I would venture to guess is mostly people who would fill a mentor role, what advice would you give to mentors of the Outreachy program?
Okay, thank you so much. If I understand your question very well, you just asked the advice that I will give to the mentors, right? Can you confirm that's the question?
Yes. What advice would you give to mentors at Outreach that are participating in the Outreachy program? How to be a good mentor, that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you so much. The first thing I will want every mentor currently participating is to understand the main goal. The main goal is to support these persons who have probably feel they are underrepresented, right? So you want to support them, and the fact that actually welcomes persons who one way or the other, or do not have 100% experience or knowledge on the project they are working on, but they applied to learn and build. So I would say they should be collaborative enough. They should be open to understand the person, understand how best they prefer to be communicated with, understand how they could help them, maybe reaching out. Some interns might not be the type that asks questions openly, and if the mentor is the type that probably wants you to ask questions in the community, it might not really help the intern. So I would say be open to the interns you have. Try to understand them, to know the different way to understand the different way they prefer to be communicated with, and let them meet the goal, which is for them to learn and build their career during the period.
Great. Thank you. Great advice. We have a question in the audience now.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Omotola. I was wondering along the same lines about mentorship or for mentors. The virtual nature of the internship experience is kind of intimidating.
I can't hear the question.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear her? No. Okay.
I can hear you, but I can't hear the person asking.
1 second. We'll fix that.
Okay.
Okay. Hi. Yeah. So I have a question related to for mentors as well, and it's about like the virtual nature of the internship and also the international nature. Do you have specific advice for how to be consistent as a mentor remotely? It's really hard to kind of continue to engage with an intern, as well as like dealing with things like maybe language barriers that make it kind of hard to connect with a possible intern as well.
Thank you so much for that question. So the first thing I would like to say is how to communicate. So that is why you have a community. Say Omotola can not speak English properly. We have past interns who their language is not English. Maybe they speak other language, and you want to communicate. So the first step is actually communication, right? You can actually do that via text to understand, are you comfortable speaking this social language? If the intern mentioned that, oh, they are not comfortable speaking this language, they are there to learn, right? You're going to help them to learn via English if the mentor is comfortable with English. But in your community, you can actually find person who probably can communicate their language better to them, and use that maybe because Outreachy encourage interns and mentors having one-on-one meeting at least once a week. So you can, during the meeting, you can feel comfortable to make the intern feel comfortable. You can have other persons that probably speak the language in your community join the call to explain things better. And you can also shift to the method of using text communication instead of probably video or audio. And when it comes to time zone, it still goes back to communication. You just like the intern has dedicated his or their time to understanding the time zone differences. It is also the responsibility of the mentor to be intentional about that. And I mentioned communication earlier. Communication will actually help here, trying to understand what time zone are you, what time do you feel comfortable. These are the times I feel comfortable or free as well. Then work together to create a balance. And another thing I think should or we keep mentors going is to understand that they are actually providing, they're actually being part of a positive cause. I mean, we've heard from past mentors that they are really glad because of the positive feedback they're getting for their interns, the fact that they're interested, they've been part of their success stories because their mentor was collaborating with them, taught them a lot of things, they'll be able to land their dream jobs. This alone is a source of motivation. So everything comes down to communication, collaboration, and, remembering the goal.
Great, thank you. Any other questions from the audience? Great, I have one more question for you. A lot of times the LLVM project has a hard time getting mentors because of day-to-day job obligations, for example. And what suggestions would you give to people who want to convince their managers that they should be able to devote time to being a mentor? What do companies get out of letting their employees be a mentor for Outreachy?
Okay, thank you very much. So the first thing I would like to put on this table is that you having a mentor, aside the fact that you are helping someone to build their dream, aside the fact that you are supporting diversity in tech, and aside the fact that you are supporting underrepresented population, which is a main goal. These are main goals. Another thing that is very important is the fact that via an organization allowing their employees to be a mentor for a particular community project, they're actually helping. If the organization is owning the project now, they're actually, via this internship, via this mentoring opportunity, they're actually improving their project as well. Getting several ideas from several persons who are joining from several culture, several ideas, several, initiative is going to make that particular project move faster and earn more than just having the employees work on it. So understand the fact that you're actually supporting diversity in tech, supporting underrepresented population, and then you are enhancing your project.
Fully agree, all fabulous reasons. We have a question from the audience.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming and talking to us. I have a question about your advertisement strategies. Like, how do you advertise the project to underrepresented communities? Could you talk about that? You also mentioned about different countries you probably are engaged with. So could you just talk about how do you find these people in all these different countries? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that question, which is a valid one. Currently, when any project community or any internship round is about to start, we communicate to persons who have signed up via our announcement list. We communicate on several social media platforms. And for each of these participating communities as well, they communicate to their network, their community members. And for every past interns that we have, past interns have come from different grassroots, different countries, let me put it that way, or different background. They as well take they as well become an advocate of Outreachy and take this news, take this information back to where they come from to encourage more persons to come and apply for the project program. Just like I've explained what Outreachy is for everyone at this event today, I'm very sure Outreachy, each and every person in this room will go out there and tell more persons about the Outreachy. Yeah, I heard about a paid remote internship. You should check them out. And moving forward as well, we are planning to reach more grassroots population, collaborate with more communities at the grassroots, people who speak different language, go to meet them at that route in order for us to meet more of our target population.
Great. Thank you so much, Omotola. That's all the time we have for today. I hope next time you can join us in person. So thank you again.
I hope so too. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye.